Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lioness Den. We are extremely happy that you have joined us this morning. Look, today we are talking about financial literacy, and I am excited because the information that is about to be shared with you is going to be life changing. But as usual, let's get our phones out. Let's get on over to our social media. Let's like and share this with our friends and family. You know how we do. Let's just go in, get to our messenger, make sure that we are sharing this broadcast with everybody we know. Look, do a group share. If you don't know how to do a group share, that's where you go in and you just tag a bunch of people all at once and send it to them. Do a group share because what you are about to get, you really cannot pay for this information the way it's about to be shared with you. We have an amazing lady with us today. She shared this with me and a group of us about a year ago with the Lioness Den when we had a financial workshop. And she has so graciously agreed to come back today. So, again, get out your phone, share it, get your pen and paper. I got my pen and paper right here. Pen, paper, and let's go into the Lioness Den. Hey, look, I was shaking my head to the beat too. I hope you were shaking your head to the beat. I kind of like that beat. I picked it, so I guess I do like it. But anyway, I really, really like that beat. Guys, if you have not already done it, please like, share, and tag somebody to this live because today we are about to have an amazing conversation with a financial advisor. I think I deemed her financial advisor because I was so moved that the last time she shared with us. And so please get somebody, get grandma, even get dad, get brother. This conversation is for the whole family. This is not a female conversation. This is a family conversation today, as she told me before we came on. And so, without further ado, I want to introduce to you because I don't think everyone was here when she was here last time, but I want to introduce to you Miss AZL Robinson. Good morning,
Hello.
AZL.
Good
Hi.
morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am super excited to have you here with us today. Um, I have heard you before, but this is the first time that you are live and everyone else gets to hear you. The last time you were here for a financial literacy workshop.
Yes.
And so this time we get to talk to everybody. I'm
Yes.
excited. I hope you are.
I am excited. A little nervous, but excited.
That's okay. Look, anyone who comes here, they are nervous in the beginning, and before the hour is over, they like, hour's already over. Oh my goodness. But as we start, do you mind introducing yourself to everyone before we get into your
Sure.
presentation?
Sure. So my name is AZL Robinson. I am a mother of three, a wife, just celebrated 25 years in February, and I am glad to be here.
Yay. I am super happy to have you here. And we're going to do a little different than we usually do this morning because Miss AZL has a presentation to share with us, and then we'll have the conversation after the presentation. I have my pen and paper, and I really, really hope you have yours because what she is about to share with us is going to be amazing. AZL, I will ask you this. Do you want me to stay on camera with you, or are
Okay.
you okay? Okay, then I'll stay here with you as you
Yes.
present because I'm going to be writing stuff. That's why I was asking. Do you want me to stay with you?
Not
So
a problem.
we're going to go ahead and get the presentation up,
Okay. Thank
and
you.
we will keep it moving. You can just tell me
Okay.
switch to the next screen, and I will be your engineer.
Okay. So, of course, I have been down this road many times. Adulting is expensive. I have two older kids. One is 24 going on 25, and one is 22 going on 23. And I tell them all the time adulting is expensive. So, in my slides today, I am pretty much breaking down how I do my budgets, how I go over my budget with my children. So, when I say adulting is expensive, this is the budgeting edition. We can go to the next slide. So, many of you want to know what is a budget. Some people know what a budget is, some people may not know what a budget is. Some people love budgets, some people just despise them altogether. But to me, a budget to me is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. I don't know if you've ever had that motion where you go to the bank, you pull out money from the ATM, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I just pulled out $100. What happened to it? But with this budget, you no longer have to ask those questions because now we're going to spend smart, save smart, and still have fun with that money that we just pulled out of the bank. We can go to the next slide. So, why budgeting matters? You no longer have to avoid debt collectors. I don't know about anybody else, but we know that those debt collectors do call every once in a while. And so now with this, we don't want them to have to worry about dutching and dodging from debt collectors. So in my book, budgeting matters because of the fact that now we no longer have to worry about those calls. Now the only calls that I'm worried about is those solicitors offering me credit cards and things like that. We can save for that vacation or that new car or that fancy coffee habit. People like Starbucks. I'm a Dunkin' Donut type of girl. If you want to spend that $5 to $6 on that coffee, by all means do so. I'm gonna spend my little $3 on that Dunkin' Donuts. That caramel macchiato is very good. Another thing that why budget matters to me is because when we pay our bills on time, we now become less stressful. I know for me, stress is like a number one killer. But now, because all my bills are paid on time, I don't have to worry about the stress of, oh my God, somebody's coming to repossess my car, or oh my goodness, the rent is due. So this is why budgeting matters to me. We can go to the next slide. So, hello to 70/20/10. This is my little mechanism for how I get through my budgets. Keep in mind 70/20/10, as I stated at the bottom, these are not your winning lottery numbers. If they were, I would have played them. But this is my mechanism for how I deal with budgeting. Next slide. So 70% out of that 70/20/10, 70%, this is your don't play with me money. Okay. It's covering the serious stuff. It's covering your mortgage or your rent, your utilities, and your internet. Of course, you know, Wi Fi is our best friend. We can't live without it. The food. The food bill, it does not just include the grocery bills. Yes, Chick-fil-A counts. If you're going to Chick-fil-A ordering that menu off the menu, this counts as a part of your food expense. Your gas and transportation, whether you're putting gas in your car, we know gas goes up and down and it fluctuates. So, in this, we will also talk about how to maneuver through your budgets. Your transportation, whether it's you're getting on the bus, we know that you still have that fee to get on the bus, so you want to get your monthly bus pass. Insurance, whether it be renter's insurance, car insurance, life insurance. Most people forget about those insurance. Minimum payments on your debts when you're paying off your bills. I know some people can't afford to put extra on their credit card bills or on those bills that they're trying to get down or get to where it's paid off. So those minimum payments, they do count. The subscriptions, your subscription to Netflix, your subscription to Hulu. Now, another question would be, how many subscriptions do you really need? Do you need four subscriptions? These are where that's where that 70% comes in. So what I say is basically anything that you would cry over if it got turned off or taken, that is included in your 70%. Next slide. The 20% is, this is your don't get caught slipping, girl, type of savings, or don't get caught slipping, dude. These are for your savings, your emergency fund, because the fact that we realize that a lot of people don't have emergency funds. So when that emergency arises where the car breaks down and you need to get a new rotor or new tires, that's where that money can come from if you have those emergency funds. Also paying off those credit cards you accidentally maxed out. You knew you were swiping that card from the beginning. So this is that 20% that you want to put towards trying to pay that down as well. And did I say savings? I want to say it again because some people think, oh, well, that emergency fund is savings. No, savings and your emergency fund to me are two different things. So your future deserves peace, not overdraft fees. Let's keep that in mind. And the next slide, the 10%. I work hard. I deserve this 10%. So, congratulations on getting through that 70%, that 20%. Now you're at 10% where you can go ahead and either pay donations. I said random acts of cash kindness. And when I say that, I mean because them kids are going to come asking for money. So, therefore, that's a little bit of money that I can give them after I've worked hard for it. Then, after that, my hair done, nails done, everything did. So, I'm now going off and spending my little bit of extra cash that I worked hard for to get these things done. But you also want to make this 10% count. And then those real life challenges. The mortgage and rent is high and food isn't free. So I always say try couponing. It's easier than you think. At first it could be hard, but it's easier than you think. There are so many influencers out here now on the internet, on Instagram, on Facebook, where they actually give you a list of things that you can get each Saturday. And you don't even have to go and get those newspapers anymore. They now have digital couponing. So now you can just do it right from your phone. We all have our phones with us each and every day. So I would encourage you to go out there and try couponing. To me, it's a lifesaver. And on top of that, it's a money saver. The envelope system. I know sometimes we all get skeptical about putting our money into the banks. So I do have that system where I set a set amount of cash aside in an envelope bi-weekly, whether it's the $20, whether it's the $40. If you pull out that $100 that you just use from your 10%, try putting away the change that you get back when you're going to the stores and put that into the envelope. You'd be surprised at how much money you wind up ending up with at the end of the year. When I say budget, you budget either by Excel or a notebook. My method is always doing a notebook. I know some people don't use ledgers anymore. So I have a composition notebook that I got from the Dollar Tree because that's a part of my budget. And I go off and I get that composition notebook. And every 2 weeks when I get paid, I'm writing out what needs to be paid. And then I pay it. I pay it bi-weekly. So if my car payment is due at the end of the month, I pay half my first paycheck and then half my second paycheck. And I'm always one step ahead of the game because, of course, we get those two free paychecks every year. And so that now becomes an extra additional car payment that I just made for the year on my car, which helps me pay it off earlier. And you'd be surprised at the interest by paying it bi-weekly. Some people don't know when you pay those car payments every 2 weeks, your interest actually goes down. depending on the lender that you're with. So seeing it written out helps out a lot because now you're seeing where your money is going instead of wondering where that money is going. And one last tip that I have for everyone is start where you are, adjust as needed, and don't give up just because you did one impulse buy. Thank you. You're on mute.
All right. I didn't know I was at the last slide. That's what I was looking like. I think it's another one. I was looking for it, but no, AZL, that is some amazing information you just shared. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a walk back through a few questions that I wrote down because I was writing down questions.
Sure.
Um, Only because before we came on, everybody, as usual, I talk to everybody before we come on, and I knew that I would have questions for Miss AZL. Um, we were talking about. Let's talk about the first question that we were talking about just before we came on, and
Hmm.
that was AZL said to me that budgeting is easy, and I said to her, not really. And then I had to change my statement to budgeting takes discipline.
Hmm. Hmm.
And a lot of times, most of us are not disciplined. Let's be honest, we're not
Correct.
disciplined.
Yes.
And so we don't budget. Um, can you give us the how you say budgeting is easy? Because I know me, I'm the one who impulse buys and then be like, I'm done. I have jacked up the budget. There's no need to go back. It's over.
And I get it because trust me, it took me a while. Of course, the way I grew up, my mom was a spender, and I just talked to one of my cousins the other day who said the same thing. My mom was a spender, and we weren't taught that savings and how to put away money or squirrel away money for a rainy day. It was always said, but it was never taught. So when I say budgeting is easy, it took me a minute to get to say budgeting is easy. I've came from a place where it was like, oh my gosh, I jacked up my credit. I don't have money to pay for that tire being flat or things like that. So when I started to literally discipline myself to say, I can do this, but it took me first taking that first step and that initiative to actually do it. And don't get me wrong, I didn't get it the first go round. It took multiple times to do it. And that's why my tip was start where you are. Don't give up just because you did that one impulse buy, because that's what people normally do. They'll
Mhm.
look and they'll say, oh, okay, I got it. I'm good. And then they do this impulse buy and then they back to where they started and they're like, man, I give up because it's too hard. But if you continue to keep going and move forward, you'll realize that, wait, I can recover from that impulse buy, but now I just have to be a little bit lenient and strainful when it comes down to spending now the money that I'm getting back. Because keep in mind, we're getting this money every 2 weeks. So even
Mhm.
if you don't know how much money you're getting every 2 weeks, whether you're on salary or hourly, you know money is now coming in. So now what you have to do is, okay, I can't go buy this because I just went and purchased this. So you have to now give and take. I did this impulse buy. Now the consequence is this week I won't be able to hang out with my girlfriends or hang out with my guys, or I won't be able to get my hair done.
Right. And so,
Sacrifice.
well, that's the one thing that a lot of us do because we know how much is coming. Even when we're hourly, we kind of, you know, y'all know
Mm-hmm.
y'all do it. You take the
You
calculator
play with
out.
it.
I worked 32 hours this week. I worked
Yeah.
40 hours this week. Oh, I worked 45 hours. Got a little bit overtime. This is about how much is I'm going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And many of us spend it before we get it. Like because
Yes.
we okay, I know I'm going to get this, and we plan. We won't plan the budget, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk about me. I won't plan the budget. Let me be clear. I won't plan the budget, but I will plan to overspend.
And that's the problem. We overspend a lot. I have now learned to live below my means. And
Mm,
I'm not saying that I'm Rockefeller over here and I got tons of money, but if it's an emergency, I'm able to tap in and say, okay, I got this, and
Hmm.
not have to stress about, wait, my mortgage won't be paid this month, or, oh man, I'm gonna have to give that up because I can't pay my car payment because this emergency arose. So it's hard, but it can be done. It can be done.
Absolutely. Yeah. The other thing I was saying to you is, when we get in a crunch, we budget better than when we know where everything is coming from. So if something happens, you lose your job, now you're
Hmm.
ready to budget again.
Yes.
You know, that big bill came, or that appliance breakdown, or that car breaks down, and now you have to pay for that. Now you know how to
Hmm.
budget.
Hmm.
And so we will do it for that moment, but then we go right back to our trifling ways. I'm gonna say trifling, y'all. I'm
It's a
saying it. She not
lifestyle.
saying it. I say it.
Yeah,
Trifling
it's a
ways.
lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle. In order to maintain things, you have to continue to do them. And so, with or without the job, you have to be
Hmm.
able to maintain it. So you can't just pick up a budget and say, yeah, now it's time for me to budget because I don't have no job and I got this bill to pay and I got that bill to pay. And now you do see yourself doing exactly what you should have been doing from the start of the job, which is planning it out. Now, I'm not going to say, we overspend, because to me, my husband hates the way that I do my books. I literally put myself in the negative, even though I'm not in a negative. But I put myself in a negative in a good way, which is I already budget for bills that's coming out at the end of the month. So when my paycheck come, I know exactly what it is, and I've already budgeted for all my bills to come out. So when I put myself in the negative, it's just showing me this is how much money that you have saved.
Mm, mm. That's different.
Hmm.
That's different. A lot of people don't do that. They want to see the plus. That means they saved it. But you said the negative is what
I
you
want to
saved.
negative. You want to know why? Because then I say, I don't have any money. I don't have any money, because once I see that negative in the ledger, I don't have any money, because I know that it's money there. But because
Right.
I'm tricking my mind to say there's no money there, because that money is my savings money.
Okay.
So my bills are paid, I have savings in the bank, and in my mind, everything is negative.
Makes sense. Makes
Mhm.
sense. It does. Something I'm gonna do that one, because, well, I'm gonna do all of them. Let me, you know the reason, guys, that we're doing this today, and it's not the only reason, but I wanted to hear this again because I heard this about a year ago, um, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and I did an impulse buy, and I was like, I guess I'm not gonna do it. So now I'm
Mhm.
like, no, let's get back to it, and I wanted to hear it again. I also wanted to talk to you about this 70-20-10 rule, because that
Mhm.
one, it's major. That's a major
Yes.
rule. The first time I heard it from you.
Mhm.
And a lot of us, I think that rule in itself would save us from us, if we
Yes.
actually enacted that. So you were saying, and I think it's the first time that I've ever heard internet being part of our major bills. Um,
Mm.
how do we actually determine? Because you had some things here, but some of us may have different stuff. So how do we determine, or what would be your suggestion for determining what goes into our 70? Because
Okay.
some of us may say that the coffee is part of our 70.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
So that's why I said at the end of that slide, whatever you would cry over, if it was taken away today or tomorrow, that would be a part of the 70. Now, my 70 wouldn't necessarily be coffee. It would be probably in that 20%, because let's really face it, 70% is what we need.
yes.
It's a need. So we need a roof over the top of our head. We need clothes on our back. We need water. But even with the clothing, I did not put it, because let's be honest, we all have a bunch of clothes in our closet that we probably have sitting in the back, not even utilizing it. And then we're going to want to go spend more. clothing wasn't in my budget for the 70. So therefore I thought about what I really needed on a daily basis, which is I need a roof over my head. I need lights. I need food. The Wi-Fi, because some people work from home, and the
Mm-hmm.
kids, you have kids. Let's be honest. Kids cannot live without that internet. And me being a real mom, sometimes I do not want them to be in my face 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So the internet kind of
Mm-hmm.
entertains them a little bit, you
Yes.
know, and it's not bad because we do spend family time. But at the end of the day, we can also spend family time with watching a movie, which is why I put those subscriptions down there. Now, let's get into it. We don't need 50 million subscriptions.
Right.
That one subscription will do. It will suffice. We find stuff. You utilize things in the house. I put going out to eat, which is a part of the food bill. Me personally, my kids are older, so now me and my husband are able to enjoy going out to eat and not having to cook. But for those who have younger kids, you might want to stay in the house and cook that meal because it's less expensive than going out and having a meal for 4 or 5 people.
And it's usually more healthy, to be
Hmm.
honest, lad.
Yes.
Because if you run in to get that McDonald's, that Burger King, um, even Chick-fil-A and Chipotle sometimes,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, sometimes the more healthy it is that you buy it out, the more it costs.
Oh, yes.
But if
Yes.
you're cooking it at home, it's healthier for your kids. I will say the one thing that I've done lately was I let my cable go.
Mm. Okay.
And a lot of us have cable. But we also have these Roku's and these
Yes.
Amazon Fire Sticks and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And we don't realize that there are free channels on there.
Yes.
Um, I found out that I was looking at when I went through what I was watching on cable and what was actually in the Roku channel. I wasn't even watch. I was watching the news. So
Yes.
I'm a big news person.
Hmm.
But I can go on Roku and watch the news, and then my TV station that I watch every day for the weather and everything actually has a free app.
Yes.
So
Yes.
all I do
And
is click on it.
yeah, and
Boing.
you don't realize this stuff until it's the budget time where you then question yourself and say, do I really need this? So let's take, for example, my son. He started working further out. And so we were talking about Chipotle. And my daughter wanted Chipotle so bad, but I did not want to spend that $10 for one bowl on Chipotle. So what did I do? I went to Walmart and I got some grilled rotisserie chicken that was in a bag, and then I brought rice and I brought the pico de gallo or whatever else goes in there and the cheese. They really, really, really loved it, and I said I can make my own Chipotle bowl at home, and so that's what we started doing. And then I found him now going to the market, and then he went a step further. He said we can find the same rice at the Dollar Tree. And I was like, oh wait,
Yes.
and I did not know. And so there goes that savings, because now we're working together as a team to say, hey, we're going to save this money. We're not going to go spend it and make Chipotle richer than what they already are, when we can go to the market. And you'd be surprised that once you make it at home, the food actually stretches. It lasts
Yes.
longer. That bowl only lasts for the day versus the meat that you just purchased lasts for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he started packing his lunch, and he was packing Chipotle bowls. He was like, this is really good. And it was easy. Like, they have microwavable rice that you could just put in the microwave for 90 seconds and the meat is already cooked. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, your house, your husband treated us to hibachi that he made himself. So,
Yes.
I was amazed. We went to her house. She had a party, and her husband made hibachi on the grill, just like you
Yes.
go out and sit there. So,
Hmm.
I've learned a lot from knowing you guys
Yes.
because, you guys do things. You and the Wilsons, the Wilsons, they make their own snowballs and stuff. So,
Yes.
and Slurpees. So it's like, oh, these little things, guys, that
Hmm.
we kind of take for granted. Oh, let's run and get a snowball, especially us who live in Maryland or who have lived in
Hmm.
Maryland. Snowballs are now can be $6.
Yes.
When I was little, it was like 50 cents.
Hmm.
$6. I
Yes.
was
Yes.
blown away at a $6 snowball.
Oh,
But
yes.
anyway, I'm not gonna veer off to that. But $6, y'all, $6.
But
It was sad.
but here's the thing, it's not even veering off. It's actually on topic because that is that 20% or that 10% that
Mm-hmm.
somebody is spending out of their budget. When you go to the market, sometimes you have to look at the cost of things. It's almost like, and I compare it all the time to going to Sam's Club versus going to the market. You get things in bulk at Sam's Club, and then you get things by the piece at the market. But then you have to go, and I do this thing where I go beforehand and I price it. So
Mm-hmm.
is it worth me getting it in a bulk versus getting one? Or is it easier for me to get one instead of getting a bulk? So for bleach, I love, love, love bleach. Lecrae will tell you, I love bleach. I bleach the home faithfully. And
Okay.
in Walmart, it's about probably $5 or $6 versus me going to Sam's Club and I can pay for three for like 15 or $20. So I choose to go to Sam's Club because it saves me in the long run. So that snowball. Do you want to buy a snowball machine, which will save you in the long run, depending on how many snowballs you make, things like that? So that's the thing that you have to think about. How often do I want that snowball? Is it worth me buying a snowball machine versus going to go purchase a snowball?
And you went straight into one of the others that's on your 70, which is the gas and transportation. Because
Hmm.
now I went to Sam's Club, I got three. I don't need to run back to the market to get another one because I got
Hmm.
three. So that saves a trip, which saves me
Correct.
gas.
Correct.
So, you know, I'm thinking now, you got me turning. You got me turning. You got me turning. I'm turning. Uh, the couponing, I did want to talk to you about the couponing because we talked about it.
Hmm.
And guys, so I went to the store today and I had not pulled out coupons. I'm going to tell on myself. Since I started my new job, I didn't pull out any. I just went to the store, get what I'm gonna get, keep it moving. Now, before I started my job, every time I went to the store, I had my phone out. I'm going through the app. I'm, selecting those coupons. So when I get to
Hmm.
the register, they just pop up and show me how much I saved. But I hadn't done it in a while. Today I got to the store, pulled it out, did the coupons, and saved like about what $10, $5
Hmm.
off the detergent, and 50 cents off the bleach and stuff like that. And so I was telling Miss AZL about this before we started, and she told me about something that I didn't know about. Can you tell us about the what is it, electronic couponing?
Yes. So, of course, we have our phones daily with us. Like, that is pretty much our travel essential, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, there are plenty of things, and I know everybody is on social media nowadays. So, there are actual influencers on social media like Instagram, Facebook. One that I can name is Coupon Mom, where they literally tell you the digitals probably that week of, because of course we coupon on Saturdays. Most of the sales are on Saturdays when people can get up and go out. I normally do Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. At one time, I was one where I would get up and go out and purchase that newspaper
Mm-hmm.
and then clip those coupons. And I would be clipping, and I'm like, oh, this is time consuming. But now they have it where you can actually download the Family Dollar app or the Dollar General app, and then you go on there and you clip those digital coupons. Well, if the influencers are online and they're giving you a list of things that you can get with the price after you've clipped those coupons, like example, Dollar General, you can get paper towels, laundry detergent, dish detergent, deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrushes, toilet tissue, paper towels, things like this you can get, and they'll give you a list of all the items you can get, the number of items you need to purchase. You have to get to, I think, $25 or over $25.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you clip those coupons, they'll tell you you're paying about $10 or $5 out of pocket. My trick to that is I have everybody in the house with a phone number and an app. So I take my $40 that I put aside every 2 weeks because that is a part of my budget. That is my
Mm-hmm.
70% because these are essential items that are needed. And then I take that $40 and I say, okay, I start clipping coupons from each of my family members' apps, and then I go to the store and I may go to multiple Dollar Generals using different phone numbers for the family. And there's my $40. Now I have a stockpile of toilet tissue, paper towels, dish detergent, laundry detergent, and soaps and toilet tissue, different things. So it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to stockpile when you have those multiple apps on your phone. And I mean, they give it to you right there. It's an easy list for you to just pick up and go by.
Yeah, I'm going to go find Coupon Mom today after we finish this. I'm going to find Coupon Mom on
It
Instagram and
is amazing.
follow her or them because
Yes.
yeah, definitely. I Dollar General was the one that I used this
Hmm.
morning when I went into the store, and I was truly surprised that they like took $5 off just because I spent $25,
Yes.
and then they took $5 more off because I bought detergent. So by the time I got all those $5 and $2 and $1, something that would have cost me a lot more was $20 less.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it does work, but we really budgeting takes time.
It
That's the
does.
other thing. So we take time to watch TV, we take time to hang out, we take time to do everything else, guys.
Hmm.
I want to encourage you to take time to budget. It is going to help you in the end. And with the climate of the world right now, we need all the help we can get. Let's be
Yes.
honest. We need all the help we
Hmm.
can get. And that's
Yes.
even if you're getting SNAP or anything else. Hey, budget that SNAP.
Yes. Yes. You can
Budget
budget
that Social
pretty.
Security.
Yes, you can budget pretty much anything. And the thing about it is, what people fail to realize is it helps out in the long run. The future
Mm-hmm.
you will thank you for making that time and that effort and that budget. And you can't just do it just because I'm making big, you can't throw away the budget because you're making big bucks. You'd be surprised that. And I look and I kept saying to myself, and this is why like now I stay home a lot. I made my home that I can enjoy so that therefore I can stay in here and not have to spend money out there. I look at the rich people who don't put their money into designer clothes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they save so much more money. And I'm like, we can do this. We can do
Yeah.
this. So I am literally like budget Annie. I'm like, okay, can I get a coupon? Is it a discount? But and then there are times where you do need to splurge on yourself. So I will
Mm-hmm.
take that splurge every now and again. But I find myself now more so like, yeah, no, I don't want to go out to eat when I can make the same food at home.
Yeah. I'll never forget about my daughter. She had to be about 7 or 8. And when school starts, we buy all these new clothes.
Hmm.
We just go out and we buy a bunch of new clothes. And well, in the city, y'all don't buy it anymore because they wear uniforms. But
Hmm.
um, before I moved here, I think they had just started wearing uniforms, or whatever. But I was talking to a guy at work. He was a Jewish guy, and he was saying to me, "We don't buy new clothes like that. We go to Walmart and buy our
Yes.
kids their school
Yep.
clothes." And I
Yes.
said, "Walmart." He said, "We buy their clothes, all of their clothes. We buy all of their tennis shoes. We buy all of it from Walmart because they're
Hmm.
growing, and you go out and
Yes.
spend all of this money on these name brands, and you
Hmm.
have to actually basically repurchase it before the end of the year because they've grown out of what you just purchased. So you went out
Yes.
and got these very expensive shoes, you got these name brand jeans, you got all of that when you could have saved that because the kid literally you end up giving it to somebody or taking it to
Hmm.
Goodwill or somewhere because the kid grows out of it before the school year ends.
Yes.
And that was
Yes.
one of the things that was major to me because of course the kids see other kids, they want to do this and that, but it worked because our kids they grow out of it. And then we purchased somebody's $400 tennis shoe, and we got a growing boy who boys to me grow faster than girls a lot of times when
Yes.
it comes to the feet and the legs. And
Mhm.
so you get them these $400 tennis shoes, and now before you got them in September, and before you can get to um before you can
December.
December, you got to buy them some more shoes.
Yes. Yes. And
So yeah,
oh, sorry. People don't understand. You still get good quality of clothes. Like matter of
absolutely.
fact, recently it's funny because my niece was like, "Oh my God, Aunt Z has on Lululemon," and I said, "Aunt Z does not have on Lululemon. Aunt Z has on Sam's Club." And you'd be surprised
Right.
at the legging sets and things like that that you can
Absolutely.
purchase. It looked just like the expensive brand, except for it's less expensive, and you
Yes,
you save
absolutely.
so much more money. And it was a I mean, the outfit was nice, it was comfortable. I'm not spending $100 and $200 on Lululemon when I can purchase a set for like $20 at Sam's Club.
Yeah. And lately, I've gone through the weight loss journey. And so I was getting ready to go and get clothes because everything, of course, is a little too big at this point.
Mhm.
And I was talking to Cree, and Cree said to me, try the thrift store.
Mhm.
Just go to the thrift store. And I have an amazing thrift store around the corner from my home. So I went to the thrift store, and it has become my best friend. And the reason is because everything is so much cheaper. My daughter went around there and got some. I hear I hear Ethan's home. My daughter went around and got some Tory Burch slippers, sandals. And when we went to purchase them, the lady said $25, and I was like, $25 for sandals. But then when they began to tell me that the sandals were actually $250, and they were only charging 10% of the actual price, I was like, oh, these are. Look, go ahead and pick. Go ahead. Because at first I'm like
Yeah.
$25.
Yes.
Because what I was buying was $2.50. It was a pair of shorts, $2.50. I was super happy. I get four pair of shorts,
Correct.
in my size that I ain't gonna be able to fit next week, but at least I had
Mhm.
one. And so she gets these sandals, and I was looking at her, but then when they explained it to me, and then when we got to Maryland, my sister was like, "Where did you get Tory Burch shoes from?" And I was like, "We
Mhm.
got them from the thrift store." Look,
Mhm.
you know, but those types of things help us to stay within budget,
Yes. Yes.
and we find these ways around. And guys, we're going to need these ways. Look, I
Oh
can't
yes.
stress it more how I can't stress it enough how much we're really going to need these different avenues as we go forward.
Yes.
Our country is changing on us, and
Mhm.
where you had all of this, and it wasn't as much. It wasn't that much. Let's be honest. It wasn't that much
Right.
before now, and it's going to be less. But where we had a
Mhm.
little cushion to fall back on, that cushion is quickly being ripped out from under us.
Yes.
So, hey, we need to find a way, and that's why we're doing this. We need to find a way to budget and maintain our households.
Mhm.
You said so. I'm looking at my notes here. So
Okay.
see me moving papers is because I
It's
did
okay.
take notes.
It's okay.
I was serious about the notes. I wanted to talk about the envelope system.
Mm.
Um, and with talking about it, the discipline it takes to maintain an envelope system, because you
Whew.
can't maintain one of those without discipline. I promise you.
That is so true because you have access to the cash at home, right? And
Mm-hmm.
because you have access to that cash, it's easier now to just go dip into that extra savings. To me, the envelope system is my extra savings. So it's a savings from the savings, right? And so when I say the envelope system, like I don't know about anybody else, I do like Timu. And so they had this little booklet that you put $40 in. No, it's $20 in. And I think you make like $1,000 at the end of the year or something like that. So I said, oh, nope, I'm going to double down. I'm going to put $40 in each little slot. And
Okay.
so it does take a lot of discipline with that. So my mechanism is if I don't see it, I don't have it. And so I stash it away. And so every 2 weeks, I pull that money out and then I just start stashing it. And then once I put it in that envelope, then I hide it away. And then out of sight, out of mind. So it's hard to do because some people may be like, "Oh yeah, well I got the cash right here," and you go straight to it. But then you have to say, "Wait, this isn't a part of my budget." So it goes back to the budget system because I have budgeted that into my 20%. So my 20%, not only is it my savings, but it's my savings beyond my savings.
Mm-hmm.
So I stash that money away. Any little extra birthday money, I stash it away. It's like, okay, well, I act as if I never got the birthday money to begin with.
Got it.
So it helps out a lot. It's hard, but at the same time, you have to have some type of restraint in order not to go in there and tap in and touch it.
Absolutely. So I told you at the beginning that we were gonna be surprised at how long we're on when I tell you the time. We are 45 minutes in already.
Oh, wow.
Right. See, I told you at the beginning. I knew it was gonna happen. It always happens. We're already 45 minutes in. Um, so there is one more thing that I wanted to
Mhm.
get just a little bit more on before
Okay.
we end, and that is talking about the Excel sheet or the notebook.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, because you said you prefer the notebook. And I kind of want to, I'm going to ask you why, but I
Okay.
also want to talk about the Excel sheet. I'll tell you a little thing that happened to me, and I don't get real churchy, but I'm going to be a little bit churchy for a second. So a couple
Okay.
of weeks ago, because we have to budget our time too, guys, just to be honest
Mhm.
with, we have to budget our times. A couple of weeks ago, I felt urged, and I'm sure it was by God. I was sitting at my desk, and I was told to print out the hours of the day. You know those sheets that they have. It's
Mhm.
from like 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. sheets, and I was told to block off, do block timing, block my time. What? How much time do I spend on each thing? Now I'm gonna tell y'all I'm a little hard headed, so I didn't do it right away. I printed the sheets, I put them in my bag, I walked away, and they were in my bag. But I will tell you that the block timing is so it is so good. That's I guess that's the best thing I can say because you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. When it first came to me, I was like, I can put this in my phone, and I could hear in my ear like someone talking to me said, "No, because you ignore the alerts on your phone all the time."
Mhm.
And then you may do it one day and not do it the next day. You may not cascade it across, but you got this piece of paper, and you know you're not the youngest one out here, so you like the paper. Sometimes you will look at this paper. I
Mhm.
promise you, even if you're doing it in your phone for your block timing, start to block off your time. You'll find that you will know because sometimes you say, "What happened to my day?" I don't know about you, but I say it all the time. Like the
Mhm.
day is gone, I am exhausted, and I can't trace back what I did with the time. But when you begin to start block timing, that block timing for your schedule, you'll find that, oh, I'm supposed to be studying right now.
Mhm.
There's 2 hours set aside for studying. Let's go study. You know,
Yep.
after I finish this today, I have homework due tomorrow. So I'm going to finish this, I'm going to publish this, and then I'm going to go and do my homework. Why? Because I need that schedule to finish school. If I really want to reach my goal, then I have to do that. Now,
Mhm.
I'm going to turn it back over to Miss AZL to tell us about this notebook and this Excel sheet.
Okay. So, of course, when you go on Word or on your laptop, like you said, you can find these apps where it has it where you can do your budget and you just key in the numbers and they give everything to you, right? I prefer paper because at the end of the day, like you said, you ignore those systems that go off saying, hey, you got to do this. You ignore reminders from your phone. Sometimes you don't want to pick up the laptop because you've let's say you've worked all week on a computer. I don't want to see a computer anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
I use that notebook system because now I go back to the basics. If I have this notebook, I can track everything that I did every 2 weeks, far as paying what bill is due, how much money I have left on this bill to pay. So you'll be surprised at when you do it paper wise by you writing it down, because now you've taken the time to write it down. Now it's like, okay, every 2 weeks I have blocked off my time to say, this Wednesday or this Friday, I go back in, I write down all my bills again. And now I can see where I've been to where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the notebook, it's easier. I don't even like going on social media. Like you said, you hit me up on Facebook and Cree was
I
like,
did.
yeah, no, she don't check that. I don't, because I use it for a certain platform, which is my extra business. I post my content and then I'm off, because why? I don't want to be on a computer all day. But if I can sit down and write my bills out, now I feel like, how, and you don't want to go churchy, but like the Bible says, you write your vision and make it plain. I'm
Yes,
writing it
ma'am.
out in a notebook, and so now I'm making it plain to me to say, these are the bills that need to be paid. This is the savings that needs to be saved. This is
Mm-hmm.
what you have left to spend on yourself. So even with that extra, like our business, that extra money is put aside because that's another savings. And the money goes back into the business, but any extra money, that's savings to us. That then you have the retire. Oh my gosh, I didn't even speak on like the retirement, your retirement. So you want to have these things put away. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm like, I'm ready to retire, and I'm not even at retirement age, but I want to make sure that I have that funds put away, so when retirement hit, or what retirement looks like, is not what everybody else is saying. Because right now, the world that we live in, we have to have this money set aside, because we never know what's going to happen with the economy.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
like writing it down. I write it down, I'm able to see it. I took the time to write it down, so now I can go from there. And with me writing it down, now I know I have to go every 2 weeks to that book, and I can't skip it because the bills need to be paid.
Right. And probably check it off as you pay them. Some
Yes,
people do that.
definitely.
I've seen my grandmother used to check. She would write it down and then she would check it off as she each thing that she wrote a check for,
Hmm.
because even up until the end, she believed in writing checks.
Yeah,
She did
I still
not
write
like
checks.
to. Do you? Oh
Yes,
wow,
I
yeah.
do.
She did
I
not
do.
pay
I do.
online. She would write checks and send those checks out, and she would check off as she would have a little notate. Well, she used a ledger, so she would have a
Hmm.
little notation of the check number that she sent to
Yes.
pay that bill.
Yes.
And it was a major thing for her because it was important. And so
Hmm.
where I was like, oh, I can just go online and hit from my bank directly there. But again, anything could happen. So it's amazing. You write checks.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, even with, so I go online and I do pay my bills online, but I have that ledger once again, because I'm writing it down now. So I have that ledger that
Hmm.
says, okay, I paid portion of this, and that's why my ledger is in the negative, because I always pay it in advance, right?
Got
And
it.
so by me paying things in advance and putting the savings in advance out there, it lets me know, so I can go back in and I check off soon as the bank pull their money. I'm that 2 weeks that I take to write it down in the book, I'm also going on my computer to say, okay, did they take their money yet? Because now at this point, I'm waiting for my debtors to take their money from out of my account. And now I'm like, okay, y'all need to come on. I already got it
Hmm.
written off. I already done checked it off. All I need to do is just put that X on it to say you've taken it out, and we can move on. But they
That
don't want to,
is
some people don't want you to pay it early. Like when I was telling my son about the car payment, pay it half.
hmm
And when he saw the interest rate going down, he was like, I didn't know they can do that. And I was like, a lot of people aren't educated on how that interest works, and they don't teach you those things.
right, right. But that's amazing because the negative makes sense now when you said it that way. It makes sense that you've already put it on there. So by the time it gets to your account, it's almost like the same thing we do in bad way. It's spent
Mm-hmm.
before it got there, but it's already on the bill, so the bills are
Yes.
already paid. Yeah, so that's still it's so
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I am flabbergasted right now. I'm getting it together. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm getting it together. But AZL, this was so impactful. I so appreciate you.
No
Um,
problem.
for coming and sharing with us. Guys, I really hope that you took notes today. If you did not take notes, Facebook got this thing now, and it's going to only be there for 30 days and then they're going to take it down. We have a YouTube channel under HDK Productions. And I don't usually talk about our YouTube channel, but I want to share with you anything that is shared on this channel on Facebook goes to our YouTube channel and it goes in a playlist under the Linus Den. I encourage you to go over to HDK Productions on YouTube and subscribe, put on that alert bell. Why? Because information like this, you are going to want to hear it again. um, Even with your notes, after a few days, that memory thing, the best of us don't remember everything. And there may be some holes in your notes. Go back and listen to this again. Go back on Facebook if it's within the 30 days of this broadcast. Listen to it again. Keep the notes. Change your life. They say it takes 21 days to develop a habit. So I encourage you to, for the next 21 days, to develop this system and then stick with it. And try sticking with it for 21 months and see how it works for you. And then if it works for you, stay with it. I mean, I think that's a good idea. What do you think?
I love it. I mean, you stick with it, trust me. In the end of the year, see how much money you actually saved. And then now you're going to be on that train of, wait, if I can save this, how much can I save later on? It's going to be worth
Exactly.
it because now you're seeing your hard work at its finest.
Yes. So guys, AZL, this has really been amazing. I thank you so much for just really spending the time with us and sharing with us what it takes to be financially well.
Yes.
We want to be healthy. We talk about going to the gym. Hey, this is your financial gym. She is
Yeah.
giving you your financial, reps today. And so we encourage you to start your financial reps the same way you've been doing that gym. You've been cutting back from that table, because you don't want to be too big. Let's cut back on our spending because we want to be bigger. Look, because
Mm-hmm.
it's funny that it does the opposite thing. If I cut back on my
Yes.
spending, my bank account gets bigger.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
guys, AZL, again, thank you. I want to
Thank you for
remind
having me.
everyone. Oh, don't go nowhere. We're not leaving yet. We got a few more
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
Remind everyone that Life Happens is coming this October the 25th. It's going to be at the Meeting House. Life Happens is our yearly conference where spiritual leaders and mental health professionals come together to share with us tools to equip us for everyday life. And this year, we're talking about give yourself grace. Look, we have an amazing lineup this year. We have Apostle Dr. J. Lemuel Spence. We have Bishop Harris. We have Miss Sharia Fleet, who is a licensed clinician. We have Mr. Randy Sneed, who's also a licensed counselor. We have Miss LaDon Bridges, who is also a licensed counselor. We have our favorites, Miss Adrienne Holloman and Miss Ebony Vaughn, who are both counselors, will be back with us. We are building a bridge. I will be speaking this year, and my brother Alonzo will also be speaking because we have a teen session. Guys, do you see teen session? 13 to 19 years old. They will be having something called paint therapy. Who would have thought? I never had it, but they're going to have something called paint therapy because my brother is a juvenile counselor, and that's one of the things that they were taught in his training is paint therapy. So they will be having paint therapy. Look, go over to lifehappens1.com. That is our website. Go to lifehappens1.com. You'll see my face. I'm there. And then you'll also see the link to register. It's early bird right now. We don't want you to miss it. Let's get in the room and get these tools and learn how to give ourselves grace. It will help us from being guilty about that impulse buy and give ourselves some grace to get back on track. Okay? So let's do that. Along with that, we still have our peace journal that's out. You can go on Amazon and purchase it, or inbox me and purchase it. Get the peace journal. We're coming out with a new book this year, but get the peace journal. You'll be able to add it to the grace book, and you'll have two books that will help you along the way. Look, we so love you here on the Lioness Den, and that is why we do what we do. Miss AZL, I can't say enough about the tools she shared with us today, and that's what we're about, bringing you the tools to get you to your next. So, again, watch this over again. Come back and see us again. We'll be back. We're here every third Saturday of the month at 11 a.m. So, join the conversation. Join the conversation. Get with us as we get with you. Are there any closing remarks you want to leave us with?
My final tip is start today and start right where you're at. It's
Yes.
never too late. Never too late. And if you have to start again, keep starting again.
Because you have the grace to start over.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you again. We will see
Thank you.
you. We will see you guys on in August for Family Month. August is Family Month, and we'll see you in August for Family Month. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.